die Verbrennung der Amerikaner.
What is up, my beautiful mates of YouTube? My name is Aussie Marcel, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my first impressions of and reviewing Who is Elijah's Nomad, a unisex fragrance. Now, before I cover anything else, online you will see a few comments and commenters with the take that Nomad is actually a clone of Baccarat Rouge 540. I don't think that's entirely accurate. I think there's a lot of fragrances out there that are trying to dupe and clone Baccarat Rouge 540, but none of them really come across like BR 540. And so I don't think this is very close to it either, but maybe that's just the way I perceive things, and maybe that's just the way BR 540 has come across to me in the past when I've sampled it. So with that in mind, let's get into the coverage of Nomad. Alright guys, I want to know in the comments below what your favorite unisex fragrances are. Let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to see what you guys come up with here. What's the best unisex fragrance you own? What's your favorite to wear? And also, what's the worst unisex fragrance you've ever smelled? Let me know below. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Presentation and packaging is awesome. I really like the way this one looks. You've got the Who is Elijah font up there. Big fan of that. Nomad, Eau de Parfum, 50 ml, 1.7 fluid ounces. You can check the website right there, whoiselijah.com.au. And the cool thing about Who is Elijah fragrances is that they're all made in Australia, and most importantly of all, they are vegan and cruelty free, which, if you know anything about me, if you've stuck around on this channel for any length of time, you'll know those are very important to me. I try and give as much coverage as possible to vegan and cruelty-free fragrances. That's why, Police to be green and Police to be super pure. Those fragrances rank really highly for me because they're marketed as vegan and cruelty-free, and they're eco-friendly as well. Another one is CK Everyone Eau de Parfum, another unisex fragrance that's vegan and cruelty-free. So, you know, I've got a long history of vegan and cruelty-free products, featuring them here on the channel. And I'm going to continue that into the future because those are the products that are most important to me. So Who is Elijah? You've got ingredients here, and then you've got fragrance notes. Egyptian jasmine, saffron almond, amberwood, Bulgarian rose, moss, ambergris, fir resin, cedar, dry amber, and musk. You can also see here Australian made, vegan, and cruelty free. I love featuring Australian companies on the channel here because being an Australian and being in Australia, I'm always trying to find new and exciting fragrances, perfumery and fashion things to just show you guys. So you can take the sleeve off this one comes. Also, I would also like to point out that Who is Elijah have another style of presentation that you might have seen as well, with the white cylinder. They're both used, you can both find them pretty readily, pretty commonly here in Australia. So one isn't necessarily a fake or anything like that, it's just a different style that they present their product with. And beneath the sleeve, you've got like a little container here with the fragrance inside. Pretty cool. He is whoever you want her to be, obviously continuing that unisex theme. I love unisex fragrances just because of that ambiguity, that androgyny, and that, you know, you kind of want a fragrance that you can share with, you know, your partner, your best friend, whatever. You want something you can just share around, and I really like that concept. I love that quality. You know, fragrance houses and like niche companies that do make and focus on unisex scents, I also love, just because that's sort of how I wish the industry were as a whole. I wish they just, you know, got rid of all that snobby, useless marketing with models and stuff, and, you know, marketing the next most masculine fragrance and all of that. You know, the way you present your own femininity and masculinity is always going to be different from how another person does it. So having a unisex fragrance, having unisex like clothing, fashion, you know, I just feel like you can portray yourself more honestly that way. And if you want to portray yourself in a really masculine way or a really feminine way, then good on you, man, right on. And so we've got the bottle here and a little slip with the notes, the fragrance notes. Really love the presentation here. So they get top marks for that. Not that I really rate fragrances here, although I have in the past assigned numerical values and all of that. I just think that fragrances and perfumery is such a subjective thing that to assign like a numerical value is sort of arbitrary and pointless. So this is my fragrance of the day. Here's the bottle. And so I'm going to apply it to my hand. Atomizer is really potent, very nice. Love to see it. Just let that perfumer's alcohol dry a little bit. Alright. The first thing I really noticed with this fragrance is that fir resin. It comes across as green, sticky, sweet, and smoky. Not entirely unlike or dissimilar to haze, the way that that smokiness is presented, although this does come across as more of a green sort of pine, conifer sort of feel. You know, it's a little coniferous. So if you're after a fragrance that has this sort of rich pine quality to it, like you go to a pine plantation or a pine forest and you can smell the sap and like that, you know, that pine sap, it really does come across like that. It really presents itself realistically, and that's why I think it's largely so dissimilar to Baccarat Rouge 540. I don't get any of that in BR 540 at all. Another thing that really comes across is that musk. There's a big musk note here, and it does come across almost a little animalic. It's got this bristly, warm sort of quality to it. It's a very warm fragrance, but there's also these like green notes like in the background. It's a very natural smelling fragrance. You don't get anything synthetic with this one. And for about the $130 to $140 price point, it smells every bit of that. You know, it's a very luxurious smelling scent. If you want something with a similar sort of style and feel without being a one-for-one sort of comparison, Sunset Riot by All Saints, they do another fragrance that's compared to Baccarat Rouge 540. Sunset Riot, here you go. I'm just going to do a little side-by-side comparison on my other hand. This one is a little more floral and a little, let's say, warmer. There's no real green notes in this one. Warmer, spicier, less musk, doesn't have that smokiness, whereas Nomad does have that smokiness. Nomad I do prefer, but Sunset Riot has gotten me a lot of compliments over the last month or so that I've been wearing this. Sunset Riot I would sort of recommend to somebody that's looking for a more mature version of Ariana Grande's Cloud. It's got a feminine type feel to it, whereas even though it is a unisex fragrance, I should make that pretty clear. Nomad, obviously also a unisex scent, but it doesn't come across like Cloud at all. It's got that really natural smelling pine quality to it, and that pine quality gives it that sort of masculine quality to it as well. So it isn't just purely feminine. Nomad is its own beast, but I sort of can understand why it gets compared to Baccarat Rouge 540. Both fragrances are very, very nice though. Nomad's going to set you back between 130 and 140. Sunset Riot, you can get it on sale at Priceline for about $100, but generally it's around 125 bucks. So if you want to save a little bit of money for a similar fragrance, go Sunset Riot. However, if you're here in Australia, support your locals, guys. Support Aussie businesses, especially ones that provide vegan and cruelty-free products. And if you want an even cheaper alternative to those, you could get Ariana Grande's Cloud, although that is, you know, that's got like a sort of coconut quality to it as well. It does come across very, very feminine. But Ariana Grande's Cloud Intense, my sister picked that up at her local chemist warehouse, or it might have been Priceline, I can't remember which one, for like $45, and that Intense does smell closer to Sunset Riot than the original Ariana Grande's Cloud. So yeah, can't wait to wear more of Nomad and get a better feel for it out in the public. I went out for coffee with my old man today, and he said that he could smell me before he even got into the building. Maybe he was just trying to pay me a compliment. Maybe that's his way of saying that it was a very good fragrance, because he does love stronger scents. Projection does seem to be pretty strong with this one, so go easy on the sprays. I think I wore 3 or 4 just because it's my first time wearing it. I don't really know how people are going to react to it, but nothing but positive vibes all around today out at the cafe. But yeah, if you've ever worn Who is Elijah's Nomad before, let me know in the comments below. If you've ever worn Sunset Riot before, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you've ever worn both of these, what are your thoughts regarding comparing the two? I can't wait to hear from you guys. As always, until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel. I'll catch you guys around.